What's up? Yes. It it only rained for a little while. What's crazy is it's 70 degrees up here during the day, like 65, 70 degrees, and it just now kind of snowed. You gotta love the mountains. Gotta love the mountains. Only in the mountains. But I just kind of wanted to go live and just kind of talk to people, whatever you guys were doing, just saying hi, and I wanted to read some songs and just kind of hang out for a little while. See who stops by and says hi. Like I said, I was gonna go out on a really cool hike and I was gonna show you guys the beautiful mountains out here. I might have to do that tomorrow or the next day because it's literally snowing with the sun out. I don't know how that works, but it's the mountains for you. Okay, so I kind of just wanted to just read some songs. I didn't really want to do anything in particular but that. So, Psalm 61. Hear my cry, O God, attend unto my prayer. From the end of the earth will I cry unto thee. I'm sorry, guys, this one's hitting me really hard. Sorry. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. For thou hast been a shelter for me and a strong tower from the enemy. I will abide in thy tabernacle forever. I will trust in the covert of thy wings. Salah. To be honest, you guys, this one really is a confirmation to me, so you're just gonna have to give me a minute. Thank you. Oh, shit. Sorry, these things usually aren't live. But, I just felt like I wanted to come on here and do songs. I felt like God wanted me to just read off Psalms just wherever. And, yeah, he, really, uh, confirmed a lot of things with me in this one, guys. Okay. For thou, O God, hast heard my vows. Thou hast given me the heritage of those that fear thy name. Thou wilt prolong the king's life and his years as many generations. He shall abide before God forever. O prepare mercy and truth, which may preserve him. So will I sing praise unto thy name forever, that I may daily perform my vows. Did you guys hear that? It just thundered. It just thundered, you guys. You know what? I thought I was just going to be able to sit down here and flip through these. And I tell you what, ain't nobody on the live with me, but I tell you, God's here with me right now. I can feel him. Thank you. Psalm 64. Hear my voice, O God, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot the secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They courage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of slaying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But God shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. At all that see them shall flee away, and all men shall fear and shall declare the work of God, for they shall wisely consider of his doing. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord, and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. I tell you what, guys, God really hit me hard on that first and second chapter with just going through just Psalms on the fly is what I'm doing. Psalms on the fly, guys. So Psalms 82. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the gods. How long will ye judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Selah. Defend the poor and fatherless. Do just to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. Deliver me, O Lord, from the... Oh, this is Psalms 140. Deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Selah. Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purpose to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me and cords. What is up with this, you guys? The snare. The Father in heaven lately with the verses that I've been doing on the fly, you guys, is all about the snare, the snare, the snare, the snare, the snare. Okay? So it's almost like he's like, watch out, there's gonna be a trap, watch out, you know? And I pray to God all the time, don't let me be deceived, don't let me be deceived. And he does that with me. He'll be like, watch out, and he'll use the word to do it. Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who hath proposed to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me in cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me. Selah. I said unto the Lord, Thou art my God. Hear the voice of my supplications, O Lord. O God, the Lord have strength of my salvation. Thou hast covered my head in the day of battle. Man, you guys, no idea what confirmation the Father's giving me right now. You guys have no idea. O God, the Lord, the strength of my salvation, thou hast covered my head in the day of battle. Thank you. Thank you. May he cover us all. May he cover us all, you guys. Grant not, O Lord, the desires of the wicked, further not his wicked device, lest they exalt themselves, Salah. As for the head of those that compass me about, let the mischiefs of their own lips cover them. Let burning coals fall upon them. Let them be cast into the fire, into deep pits, that they rise not up again. Let not an evil speaker be established in the earth. Evil shall hunt the violent man to overthrow him. I know that the Lord will maintain the cause of the afflicted and the right of the poor. Surely the righteous shall give thanks unto thy name. The upright shall dwell in thy presence. And how amazing, you guys, it's going to be when we can really dwell in his presence, not just feeling his presence. You know, not that it's not awesome, because trust me, I've felt it twice now reading these. And I thank Yahusha so much for that. I tell you, when I start crying, it's because I feel his presence. So, just so you guys know, whenever you're watching my videos and I start crying, just know mostly it's 9 times out of 10 it's because I feel him. And he knows when we talk about him, you know. And he wants us to love him and praise him. And fear no evil. Because he's with us. Sorry, you guys. This is a really powerful moment right now with me and the Father. I didn't think I was going to come on here and it was going to he was going to do this. I had no idea. I had no idea. Psalm 26. Judge me, O Lord, for I have walked in mine integrity. I have trusted also in the Lord, therefore I shall not slide. Examine me, O Lord, and prove me. Try my reins and my heart. For thy loving kindness is before mine eyes, and I have walked in thy truth. I have not sat with vain persons, neither will I go in the dissemblers. I have hated the congregation of evildoers, and will not sit with the wicked. I will wash mine hands, in innocency. So will I compass thine altar, O Lord, that I may publish with the voice of thanksgiving, and tell of all thy wondrous works. Lord, I have loved the inhabitation of thy house, and the place where thine honor dwelleth. Gather not my soul with sinners, nor my life with bloody men, in whose hands is mischief, and their right hand is full of bribes. But as for me, I will walk in mine integrity. Redeem me, and be merciful unto me. My foot standeth in an even place. In the congregations will I bless the Lord. And don't think that the Lord can just bless us. It says, "Will I bless the Lord?" And blessing him is giving him praise and honor and glory. integrity. Oh wow, this is a really, really, really long one, you guys. Oh well, I'll read them both. Get myself together here. Oh, you guys, he really touched my heart in those first couple of Psalms. I tell you what, guys, when God shows up, he shows up. Psalm 77. I cried unto God with my voice, even unto God with my voice, and he gave ear unto me. In the day of my trouble I sought the Lord, and my soul ran in the night, and ceased not. My soul refused to be comforted. I remembered God, and was troubled. I complained, and my spirit was overwhelmed. Selah. Thou holdest mine eyes waking. I am so troubled that I cannot speak. I have considered the days of old, the years of ancient times. I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with mine own heart, and my spirit made delight search. Will the Lord cast off forever, and will he be favorable no more? And his mercy clean gone forever? Does his promise fail forevermore? Hath God forgotten to be gracious? Hath he in anger shut up his tender mercies? Selah. And I said, this is my infirmity. But I will remember the years of the right hand of the Most High. I will remember the works of the Lord. Surely I will remember thy wonders of old. I will meditate of all thy work and talk of thy doings. Remember. That's something that I feel like the Father's been telling me a lot lately. Just remember. I don't know what that means for you. That means a lot of things. Like, remember what he did for us. Remember what he told us. Remember what he told us to look for in these times. Remember your Redeemer, your Deliverer, the one true God. Remember what he did for us. Remember, you guys. No matter how hard it gets, remember. I will meditate also of all thy work and talk of thy doings. Thy way, O God, is in this sanctuary, who is so great a God as our God. Isn't that in a song? I remember singing that one time in church. Thy way, O God, is in the sanctuary, who is so great a God as our God. I remember singing something like that. Great is a God as our God. I don't know, I can't remember how it goes. Thou art the God that dost wonders. He is a God that does wonders. Wonders and miracles, guys. Hi, Jeffrey. Thou art the God that dost wonders, that hast declared thy strength among the people. Thou hast with thine arm redeemed thy people, the sons of Jacob and Joseph. Selah. The waters saw thee, O God, the waters saw thee. They were afraid, the depths also were troubled. The clouds poured out water, the skies sent out a sound. Thine arrows also went abroad. The voice of thy thunder was in the heaven. The lightnings lightninged the world. The earth trembled and shook. Thy way is in the sea, and thy path is in the great waters, and thy footsteps are not known. Thou leddest thy people like a flock by the hand of Moses and Aaron. Psalm 78. I'm just reading Psalms today and just talking. This one's a little longer, but this is what I landed on, so I feel like, you know, if he's really wanting me to read these, then I'm gonna read them
If it's long, it's long. I mean,
if I'm in it, I'm in it.
in it to win it. Psalm 78. Give ear, O my people, to my law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We will not hide them from their children, showing to the generation to come the praises of the Lord and his strength and his wonderful works that he hath done. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their children, that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born should arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope in God and not forget the works of God, but keep his commandments. So we were to keep his commandments, you guys, the best way we know how, and the best we can as a human being possible. And I know we all fail, but we are strong because we believe in him. He strengthens us in our weaknesses. Where we lack, he's there. And might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with God. The children of Ephraim, being armed and carrying bows, turned back. They kept. Sorry about that. Where was I? Somebody was calling me. Verse 10. They kept not the covenant of God and refused to walk in his law and forgot his works and his wonders that he had showed them. Marvelous things did he in the sight of their fathers in land of Egypt, in the field of Zoan. He divided the sea that caused them to pass through, and he made the waters to stand as an heap. In the daytime he led them with a cloud, and all the night with a light of fire. Basically, guys, he's saying he's showing these people all the stuff, all these miraculous things, and we need to remember and we need to abide by his commandments. We don't need to stray away, which in this we call backsliding, backsliding. And I've really been praying a lot about it lately upon my life, because God knows I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect by any means. But, there are some things in my life that I'm working hard on to get rid of, because I know who he is, and he's picky. He really is, we gotta be righteous. Nothing that is unrighteous goes into heaven. Heaven is that, there is no wicked thing that gets into heaven. That's why he gave us the commandments so we can learn to be righteous, so we can better ourselves and be righteous in the eyes of the Father. Yahushua died so we could turn from our sin. Otherwise, once you sin, you're done. One sin and you're gone. It's over. There is no redemption. But if we turn away from our sin and say sorry, but we have to turn. We have to turn. We have to. And trust me, I'm struggling with some of my sins in my life right now, too, guys. It's not easy being a real believer. You have to turn away from your sin. You really have to. We're going to fail at it. But we have to try our hardest, guys. We have to. Because he's our only hope. He's it. That's it. He's our only hope. What he did for us, believing in what he did for us, and turning away from our sins, repenting and returning.
to Him. Truly returning to Him. And turning away from our sins and returning to Him. And I am not perfect by any means. I struggle every day. I struggle with this, you guys. But I know God's with me. He wouldn't have been with me these. Dude, He just showed Himself. He was here with me twice. I don't know why I'm saying dude, because I don't even know if anybody's watching. But you know I'm serious when I say dude. I tell that to my friends. But dude, I felt His presence with me twice. There's no way He'd be showing up. I don't mean showing up like showing up, but I mean, being with me like He is, if I wasn't saved. So I'm not saying be perfect, but we gotta try. We gotta really try, guys. We gotta have a real relationship with Him, And here lately, I haven't been doing as good as I should be doing. Like, I haven't been reading the Bible as much as I should be. I should be reading it every day. Yesterday, I kind of really didn't read it. You know what I mean? And sometimes I feel bad, I feel bad that, some days I'm not giving it my all. Whether it be abiding by the commandments or just praying or reading the word, But also in my weaknesses, I've also known that He's still there and He still comforts me and He's still with me, So I know just by my relationship that even though I fail and I struggle, that He's with me, And I don't even feel worthy sometimes. But I just want people to know, even though I don't feel worthy sometimes, because I know I do fail with the commandments and stuff, but He is with me, So there's something to say about that. Something to say about that, you guys. So where was I? Psalm 78 verse 8, I think is where I was, somewhere in there. And might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with God. The children of Ephraim, being armed and carrying bows, turned back in that day of battle. They kept not the covenant of God and refused to walk in His laws, and forgot His works and His wonders that He had showed them. Marvelous things did He in the sight of their fathers, in the land of Egypt and in the fields of Zoan, or Zone. He divided the sea and caused them to pass through, and He made the waters to stand as a heap. In the daytime also He led them with a cloud, and all the night with a light of fire. He clave the rocks in the wilderness, and gave them drink as out of the great depths. He brought streams also out of the rock, and caused water to run like rivers. And they sinned yet more against Him by provoking the Most High in the wilderness, and they tempted God in their heart by asking meat for their lust. Yea, they spake against God, and said, Can God furnish a table in the wilderness? Behold, He smote the rock, that the waters gushed out, and the streams overflowed, and He give bread also. Can He provide flesh for His people? Therefore the Lord heard this, and was wroth. So a fire was kindled against Jacob, and anger also came up against Israel, because they believed not in God and trusted not in His salvation. So we got to trust in His salvation, you guys, that He's going to provide. He's going to provide. It's like I was saying in Jerry, Jerry the light of truth, Jerry light of truth. and how we were saying, you know, people are going to be so desperate in these times. They're going to be so desperate that, they're going to take the mark. Because it says in the Bible, people, the mark, you're not going to be able to buy or sell without the mark of the beast, without the mark. So these people are going to be, so to me, it sounds like it's going to be where people are going to be so desperate that they're going to have no choice but to take the mark. And it's going to be like that. It's going to be, do you want to feed your family? But we got to trust that God's going to provide. Just like Jerry said, send a sparrow. Or like I was saying, the crow that got sent by God to Elijah that sent him meat. And led Elijah into the wilderness by a creek where he had water and, led him. Now, I'm sure Elijah only got a little bit of pieces and a little here and a little there, because times were rough when Elijah had to go. And they are pushing the chip. They're setting the platform. Have already set the platform for the chip, and it's going to end up being that this is just the way it is now, guys. You either get in with the trend and the new upbeat of way the world is, or you don't. And people are going to be like, oh, it's no different than having a credit card, it's just another chip. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. But they're going to try to make it seem like it's normal. Oh, it's just a new thing, it's just new and, and it's just how it's turned, how technology's gotten now, we're either in or you're out, I don't know how to explain it any more better than that, but. So verse 22, I think, is where I was around in there. Because they believed not in God and trusted not in his salvation, though he had commanded the clouds from above and opened the doors of heaven. All these signs, and they're like, yeah, I don't want to. Sounds like us nowadays, this generation anyway. And had rained down manna upon them to eat, and had given them up the corn of heaven. The corn of heaven, you guys, the corn of heaven. The corn of heaven. I wonder what that tastes like. You know what I mean? These people are getting fed manna. Bible says right here, the corn of heaven. I guess I do kind of sound like that guy. Okay. When I get all goofy. I don't know. Okay. But the corn of heaven, you guys. You know what I mean? Like, and they're sitting there whining. Give us quail. We want quail. We want a table. We want this. We want this. I want that. I want this. It sounds like our generation reading this. Man did eat angels' food. He sent them meat to the full. He caused an east wind to blow in the heaven, and by his power he brought in the south wind. He rained flesh also upon them as dust, and feathered fowls like as the sand of the sea. And he let it fall in the midst of their camp and round about their habitation. So they did eat and were well filled, for he gave them their own desire. They were not estranged from their lust, but while their meat was yet in their mouths, the wrath of God came upon them, and slew the fasted of them, and smote down the chosen men of Israel. For all this thy sin still, and believe not for his wondrous works. Therefore their days did he consume in vanity, and their years in trouble. When he slew them, then they sought him, and they returned and inquired early after God. So God came down and took care of business. He came down and took care of business. Just like I've been saying, God's going to come down and take care of business. Sounds just like how rebellious our generation's being. I feel like God's using this as an example right now, this Psalms. And they remembered that God was their rock and the high God their Redeemer. Nevertheless,
They did flatter him with their mouth, and they lied unto him with their tongues, for their heart was not right with him, neither were they steadfast in his covenant. But he, being full of compassion, forgave their iniquity, and destroyed them not. Yea, many a time turned he his anger away, and did not stir up all his wrath. So, even with the people that he slew, he didn't just get rid of all of them. You know what I mean? Like, people gotta realize the Father's he's God. You know what I mean? He will come down and take care of business and slay some of us to make an example. But he has enough compassion on us that he ain't gonna just annihilate us, humanity, altogether. You know what I mean? And people don't look at it like that. They're like, well, why is God letting all this happen? And it's like, well, whatever it takes, because he wished none to perish. You know? It might take some bad things for people to wake up. See how bad it got for these people to wake up? And even then, it's talking about how they didn't, and God was still upset with him, but still, he turned his anger away and did not stir up all his wrath. So that wasn't all his wrath, even though it sounded like it was bad. He slew them and stuff. But it says here that was not all his wrath. Basically, it could have been worse. For he remembered that they were but flesh, a wind that passeth away and cometh not again. How oft did they provoke him in the wilderness and grieve him in the desert? Yea, they turned back and tempted God and limited the Holy One of Israel. They remembered not his hand, nor the day when he delivered them from the enemy, how he had wrought his signs in Egypt and his wonders in the field of Zoan, and had turned their rivers into blood and their floods that they could not drink. He sent divers sorts of flies among them, which devoured them, and frogs, which destroyed them. He gave also their increase unto the caterpillar, and their labor unto the locust. He destroyed their vines with hail, and their sycamore trees with frost. He gave up their cattle also to the hail, and their flocks to hot thunderbolts. He cast upon them with fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble by sending evil angels among them. He made a way to his anger. He spared not their soul from death, but gave their life over to the pestilence, and smote all the firstborn in Egypt, the chief of their. So he's talking about this is the time when Exodus. He's talking about Exodus. The chief of their strength in the tabernacles of Ham, but made his own people to go forth like sheep, and guided them in the wilderness like a flock. And he led them on safely, so that they feared not, but the sea overwhelmed their enemies. And he brought them to the border of his sanctuary, even to this mountain which his right hand had purchased. He cast out the heathen also before them, and divided them an inheritance by line, and made the tribes of Israel to dwell in their tents. Yet they tempted and provoked the Most High God, and kept not his testimonies, but turned back and dealt unfaithfully like their fathers. They were turned aside like a deceitful bow, for they provoked him to anger with their high places, and moved him to jealousy with their graven images. When God heard this, he was wroth, and greatly abhorred Israel, so that he forsook the tabernacle of Shelah, the tent which he placed among men, and delivered his strength into captivity, and his glory into the enemy's hand. He gave his people over also unto the sword, and was wroth with his inheritance. The fire consumed their young men, and their maidens were not given to marriage. Their priests fell by the sword, and their widows made no lamentation. The Lord awakened as one out of sleep, and like a mighty man that shouteth by reason of wine. And he smote his enemies in the hinder parts, and put them to a perpetual reproach. Moreover, he refused the tabernacle of Joseph, and chose not the tribe of Ephraim, but chose the tribe of Judah, the Mount Zion which he loved. Zion, sorry, I had a song about Zion. And he built his sanctuary like high places, like the earth which he hath established forever. He chose David also his servant, and took him from the sheepfolds, from following the ewes great with young. He brought him to feed Jacob his people, and Israel his inheritance. So he fed them according to the integrity of his heart, and guided them by the skillfulness of his hands. I'm going to say that last one again. So he fed them according to the integrity of his heart, and guided them by the skillfulness of his hands. So to me, that seems like God is going to judge us by our hearts and by our works. And I'll just leave it at that, you guys. And yeah. Love and peace, guys. And thanks a lot, everybody, for your fellowship and your time on YouTube, everybody that I've been watching. Jerry the Light of Truth, Mattis Yahoo, and lots of others. Daniel, Poor Pilgrim. I've been watching Jose. Yeah, sorry it was cutting out. I hope it was not on my end that was cutting out. But it'll be uploaded here in a couple minutes. You'll be able to watch it again, hopefully, if it's not on my end, like I said. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. I feel like there's somebody else that I've been watching that I'm forgetting that I want to say. Just go to my subscriptions, and you'll see him. He's the only Jose in my subscription. In my subs, I should say. I don't know how to say his last name right. It's like Jose Sangrai or something. I don't know I don't know any other way to get you to him then. That's weird, cause yeah, I'm subbed to him. His name's Jose Sagarani. Sagarani, I think is how you say it. Surgarani or Sagarani. But matter of fact, he was calling in the middle of this video. So I'm gonna call him back. But all right. But yeah, you guys have a great evening. Yahusha bless all of you. May he be with you, guide you, protect you. I love fellowshipping with all you guys. I enjoy your videos. And, may we be strong in this together so we can, fight the good fight. And, love and peace, guys. Love and peace. And keep us all on, pray for everybody. Pray for all of us. Pray for me. Pray for you. We all pray together and we will be strong. I guarantee you, if we all pray for each other through this, we will all be blessed and strong through this, you guys. And we all keep our relationships strong and our lamps full. So, love and peace, guys. Have a good evening.